The Ryzen 7 7800X3D is the fastest CPU when it comes to gaming in the entire market, is also very power efficient, and in terms of CPU temps while gaming is excellent. So I would highly recommend you building a PC around this CPU, but if you build the wrong computer, you can actually bottleneck your entire gaming experience and get really bad stuttering. So in this video, I will make sure that doesn't happen, and I will show you the best gaming PC builds for different budgets around the 7800X3D, so you will get a system for your budget and needs around this great AMD CPU. All the links to these PCs will be down below in the video description. With that being said, let's start. First, I'm going to start talking about the cheapest system with the 7800X3D, and this is the Esports Stylus gaming system. It comes with, of course, the Ryzen 7 processor, and then you get the RTX 4060 for the GPU, which is going to be ideal if you want to play at 1080p, easy to run games such as Fortnite, Valorant, CS2, and this type of shooters at 360 plus FPS on average, and even 500 plus FPS on average in case you want a 520Hz monitor, which is the fastest monitor today. Now, in terms of esports shooters, I tested the RTX 4060 myself in my Esports PC Build video, and I was able to reach around 407 FPS across 8 different titles. Now, the 7800X3D is about 20% faster than the CPU that I use here, which was the Ryzen 5 7600, so you can expect even higher FPS than I've gotten here, and you can expect well over 500 plus FPS on average in a game like Fortnite performance mode. So very solid computer for 1080p esports shooters gaming. And if you're wondering about high-end AAA titles like Hogwarts Legacy, for example, well, you can expect well over 88 plus FPS on average in high to ultra settings in these type of titles, as you can see on the screen. Keep in mind that those type of games, the AAA titles, are more GPU demanding. Then for the CPU cooler, you get a white Thermalright Peerless Assassin. I absolutely love how this cooler looks, and since the 7800X3D is super power efficient, you do not need anything more than this, honestly, and getting an all-in-one liquid cooler is not going to make that big of a difference, and is definitely not necessary. Then for the motherboard, I went with the MSI Pro B650P. This one is very good for gaming, and it has all the features that you are going to need, and it's also a very good motherboard for the price. Then for the memory, you get 32 gigs of DDR5 memory at 6000 MHz CL30 timings, so you are going to be getting very fast speeds, and since you get 32 gigs of RAM, you can also do other tasks such as content creation, streaming, and productivity work in general. For the storage, you get the Kingston MB2 1TB of Gen 4 SSD, and then for the case, you get a Big Phoenix Nova Micro ATX mid-tower case that is fully white with 3 pre-installed fans, and if you want to go with a black build instead, in the description you will have that alternative. Last but not least, we have the power supply, and here you get a C-tier rated 650 watt 80 plus bronze power supply, which is going to be plenty of wattage for this system. If you are not going to play Fortnite, let's say Fortnite is not your main game and you actually do not care about that game, then you can get a faster GPU from AMD for around the same price, and I'm talking about the RX 6700XT. This one has 12 gigs of VRAM, so it's better long term, and it's much faster when it comes to gaming performance at 1080p, and you can also use it at 1440p if you want to. The total price for this system is $1,050 when I'm recording this video, and if you get the 6750XT or 6700XT, it's going to cost you around $1,080 to $1,100. Anyway, regardless of the GPU that you get, you are going to be getting an amazing gaming experience for 1080p and a very solid 1440p gaming experience as well, depending on the game and depending on the settings. With the next one, we have the best value 1440p system that's going for around $1,380. Now, this one comes, of course, with the 7800X3D, but this time for the GPU, I went with the RX 7900 GRE. This one is an amazing 1440p beast of a GPU that will allow you to play any AAA title at 1440p high to ultra settings. You can expect well over 100 FPS in this type of AAA titles from the latest hardware unboxed testing with no overclocking. If you overclock this GPU, then the performance might be slightly different, but in this case, if you do not overclock, it's going to be very similar to the RTX 4070 Super, which you can also consider if you want to go for an NVIDIA GPU and you want a better level of ray tracing, or you want to have DLSS, which is the upscaler from NVIDIA, and it has a better image quality than FSR, which is the upscaler from AMD. Keep in mind that the 4070 Super is about $40 to $50 more expensive by the time that I'm recording this video, and it comes with 12 gigs of VRAM instead of 16 gigs of VRAM, which at 1440p 12 gigs of VRAM is totally fine. but if you want to play at 4K, then 16 gigs is going to be ideal. For the rest of the components, we get very similar components, but we get a different case. Here you will get the Montec Air 100 ARGB. I tested this case myself. It has 4 pre-installed fans. It looks amazing, honestly, very quiet by the way, and it's only $60. And then for the power supply, you get an A-tier rated 850 watt 80 plus global power supply, which is going to be plenty of wattage for this system and also for future upgrades in case you want a more powerful GPU. Then for the rest of the components, you get the same CPU cooler, but this time Black Edition. You get the same 1TB of Gen 4 SSD, the same motherboard, and a different memory kit, but same speeds and same 32 gigs of RAM, just a different model for you to have a complete black build. So for under 1400 bucks, you are getting a 1440p Ultra gaming experience, and if you want to play esports titles, you can expect well over 360 plus FPS at 1440p competitive settings. So if you want to buy a 1440p 240 or 360Hz monitor, feel free to do so. With the next one, we have a higher end 1440p/4K gaming system. With this one, you will be able to play any game at 1440p ultra settings with higher FPS than the last one, and you can also play at 4K high settings or ultra settings with no issues. The main difference here is the GPU. I went with the RTX 4070 Ti Super, which is about 15% faster than the 7900 GRE on average, and on that same test from Hardware Unboxed on high to ultra settings in high demanding titles, 1440p resolution, the 4070 Ti Super was able to average over 120 FPS, so very good performance for 1440p. And then if you higher the resolution to 4K, you can expect 70 plus FPS on average with no upscalers. So if you turn on the LSS, which is the upscaler from Nvidia, as I said before, you will be able to achieve 80 to 100 FPS on average in high demanding titles, high to ultra settings. But of course, this will depend on the exact title that you play and the settings that you use. For the rest of the components, you get a better quality system overall compared to the last one. You get a B650 motherboard with more features in the MSI gaming Wi-Fi. You also get a 2TB Gen 4 SSD instead of 1TB. Then you get a better quality case in the Deepcool CH560. I love this one, has plenty of airflow, 4 pre-installed fans, and in my opinion, one of the best looking cases in the entire market. And last but not least, for the power supply, you get the same 850 watt A-tier rated power supply because it's going to be enough for this system, and to be honest, for most systems in the entire market. The price for this PC is right under $1,800, and you are getting an amazing 1440p and 4K gaming performance. And if you were wondering about esports titles, you can expect 360 plus FPS at 1440p, and at 4K you can expect 240 plus FPS on average, once again depending on the esports title and depending on the settings. At around this price point, you can also consider the 7900 XT, which is going for around $80 to $100 less than the 4070 Ti Super, and it performs basically the same in native resolution. But the reason why I do not recommend you making this downgrade is because the 7900 XT has FSR, which has a worse image quality than the LSS if you want to play on high to ultra settings at 4K and you want to turn on your upscaler. It also has a much worse level of ray tracing, and Nvidia usually has better technologies, especially when it comes to content creation and productivity work applications. So the 4070 Ti Super is more complete, and you are already spending a lot of money here, so you might as well go with the 4070 Ti Super. In my opinion, is going to be the better option overall. Then we have the best PC under $2,000 with the 7800 X3D. This one is for 4K resolution, more than 1440p, because you get the RTX 4080 Super. For the rest of the components, you get basically the same components, so the only difference is going to be the GPU, and the 4080 Super is more of a 4K ultra gaming graphics card, and it's going to be faster than the 4070 Ti and 7900 XT. You can expect around 18% faster performance from the 4080 Super compared to the 4070 Ti Super, and you can expect around 85 plus FPS on average at 4K ultra settings on high demanding titles from the latest test from TechSpot. And once again, this is with no DLSS on, so if you turn on DLSS, you can expect even higher frame rates depending on the game and settings. And last but definitely not least, if you want the best gaming performance alongside the 7800 X3D, you can get the RTX 4090 for the GPU, and the rest of the components are going to remain the same except for the power supply, and I went with a 1000 watt power supply from NZXT. This one is A-tier rated as well, and 1000 watts are going to be needed for the RTX 4090. In my opinion, the fastest system for gaming that you can get right now, and it's just under $3,000 And since the RTX 4090 is the best graphics cards when it comes to performance in the entire market, there's no game that you can't run at 4K resolution unless the game is not well optimized. On that 12th game average I've mentioned before from TechSpot, the 4090 was able to average 112 FPS, making it the fastest GPU by far in the entire chart. It is also the fastest when it comes to ray tracing performance, and you get all of the NVIDIA features that I was talking about before. And I want to say that if you are enjoying this video so far, click the subscribe button, it helps the channel a lot, and if you do that, thank you so much. So any of these PCs that I mentioned today are going to be amazing depending on your needs and depending on your budget. And if you have any question about any of these systems, leave it down below in the comment section and I will help you out. And if you need more personal PC help, in the top link in the description, you will have my personal PC help for me to help you find the perfect PC, whether it's a pre-built PC or a PC build, depending on your needs and depending on your budget. Thank you guys for watching, thank you for the support, and I will see you on the next one.